Hi everyone, this is Liza. Welcome back to Eliza's Bookshelf, or welcome if you're new. Today I am going to go over my October wrap-up. So October actually was a really good reading month for me. I read the most books I've ever read and I enjoyed mostly all of them. So let's get to it. As always, I am going to go over the books like least favorite to the most favorite, and it was kind of hard this month to rank them because a lot of them were really good. So let's just see. I kind of like separated into three stacks. First stack, I'm like, I know that they were just okay. Middle stack is like they're good, and then I have the clear favorites of the group. Anyway, so unfortunately, the bottom two is Stephanie Garber's books. I read Caraval a long time ago, and so I'm jumping back into her books again so I can get caught up with her series. And so I read Legendary and I read Finale. I think these two are different compared to her first book because if I'm not mistaken, her first book is only told in like one of the sisters' point of view. And then the next two books, we do get both sisters' point of views. And in the first one, they're just really trying to free her mom, and the third one, they were trying to figure out like who created the fates and stuff like that. The thing about her books is that there's a lot of talking and a lot of inner dialogue and a lot of questions where I'm just like, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to the next scene. I want to see what happens. But they're just like thinking to themselves all the time. The other thing I don't really like is that there's love triangles, and because there's two sisters, at one point there's two love triangles, and I don't like that. I like having my one true pair and kind of rooting for them all the way, and so I didn't really like that too much. But overall, it's very whimsical, it's very magical. I like that aspect. But I don't like being fooled all the time, and I am fooled like all the time. It's like one thing happens, okay, that's great, but then she can turn it around on you and say like, not really, because of magic, you know? So there's not really a good system here. It's just like, it's just magic. But I do know a lot of people who likes these series, and that's why I wanted to get into the Jax series of the bunch and see if I like that better. But yes, sorry. Not like terrible or anything, but not my favorite out of all of the books that I read. So that's why I ranked it below. I think I gave them like all 3 out of 5s or something like that. The next one is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is like the final girl tropes of the final girl tropes. So you have a bunch of girls who were final girls in their own situation, and they come together in this support group with therapy and stuff like that because they're all damaged, of course. They all have their problems. It's told in one of the girls' point of views. What is her name? Lynette. She's so annoying. But basically it's told in her point of view. And basically the reason why, I mean, I like this concept overall. Oh, I forgot to say what it was actually about. So basically, these final girls are in their support group, and then one day they find out that one of the girls was killed, and then another one gets hurt, whatever, right? Lynette is obviously like, you know what, fool me once, whatever, but you can't fool me twice. I know that someone is murdering us, and I'm going to find out who it is, right? And so the concept itself is great. I just think the main character was so annoying at times. She's like, obviously very paranoid, and wherever she goes, she's like, yes, you have to look at people's shoes and make sure you're aware of everyone that's around you. You never know who's spying on you. And rightfully so. I mean, she went through something very traumatizing. I think her story of the final girls is the most gruesome. And so rightfully so, she should be paranoid. But it's like the type of paranoid where it's like, okay, she is too paranoid. She can't be right, but obviously she is right. Or I don't know, it's just crazy to think about. But the thing I liked is hearing about every girl's backstory. So you hear about all the murders, all the gruesome things that they each went through. So that was very unique. But yes, I think I put this on the bottom because I just didn't like the main character. All right, The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. So this is where we get into like the good books territory. All these other books are like really good. I just had to put them somewhere in the list. So The American Roommate Experiment is number 2 in like this world of Elena Armas's characters. And so The Spanish Love Deception was the first one. I honestly did not like that one, or like the ending of it. So it went downhill really quickly for me. But I was hearing that a lot of people like this one. And so, yes, I liked it too. The only thing was that, I don't know why, but in each of her books well, I only read 2 of her books so far, but in each of them, there's like a lull in the middle where I'm like, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to something, right? I'm kind of bored. I don't know why, but basically you have, what is her name? Rosie, and then you have Lucas, and they were pretty cute together. Lucas has his own story too. He has problems that he has to deal with. He was a like pro surfer and he had an injury, so he's dealing with that before he can get into any relationship. Anyway, so she is trying to become a romance author. She quit her job, but she's having trouble writing her second book. He's offering to bring her on dates to, you know, give her some inspiration. But yes, that is like the cutest trope, I think. And there's also like the 1-bedroom trope because they get stuck in her friend's loft. So yes, that was really cute. The only thing was that it was kind of like dull in the middle there. But anyways, I liked it. The next book I want to talk about is Outside by Ragnar Jonasson. I think it's like a Nordic noir type of mystery thriller and also a locked room mystery. So if you like those, I think this is one for you. It's very character driven. You have 4 main characters and it's told in 4 point of views as well. So I know sometimes that can be tricky, but with these 4 point of views, I think it was really easy for me to get into quickly. But basically you have these 4 friends, and it's always like that with locked room mysteries, obviously, right? Because someone is killing someone. I'm always thinking like, why are these friends together? They don't seem like they like each other. Anyway, so these 4 friends, they like get together once a year, or no, something happened where they're finally getting together again, right? And they're coming to this cabin to stay together and just catch up and stuff like that. But they get snowed in, and so their trip gets cut short and they're trying to turn back. But they can't even get back because they're very snowed in. Anyway, so it starts off with the 4 characters going to this cabin. And when they finally get into this cabin, it's like a safe house or something like that. And when they finally get into the cabin, they're like, oh my God, what is this? And then it's like end scene, right? The next chapter is like, oh, 5 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever. And it's just so crazy from there because what they've actually found in there is kind of it's really creepy. I was like, what the F is this, right? And so from there, you hear a lot of their backstories, what actually brought them there, what happened in the past, how they're tied together. And I really liked it. I liked the backstory. The ending was really good too. I liked it. I liked how it wrapped up, but it's very like one setting, character driven, locked room mystery. If you like that, I think you'd like this one. That is actually my first book from Ragnar Jonasson, actually. I see a lot of his books on Crime by the Books Bookstagram. So yes, check her out. The next one is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is the sequel to It Ends With Us. And It Ends With Us, I know a lot of people like give Colleen Hoover backlash, and sometimes rightfully so. There's some questionable things that happen. But one of the things they say is that she, like with It Ends With Us, she glamorizes domestic abuse and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know if she like glamorizes it in that book. She's just saying like, you know, you don't really know what one person is going through, and so you shouldn't really judge them based on what they do or do not do in a relationship. But this is like Lily's story and how she tries to get out of a certain situation that she always judged her mom for. So the ending of It Ends With Us brings her back to like this other relationship she had with Atlas, and this is their story. It's like a second chance romance. And so she is kind of dealing with like starting up something with him again, and then dealing with like, you know, her baby daddy. This book overall was okay. I just think that Colleen Hoover has a way of just pulling at your heartstrings and just like giving one-liners that make you go like, oh my God. So, I mean, It Starts With Us. You'll see. If you've read it already, you'll know what it's talking about. If you haven't, just know that It Starts With Us has like a meaning in there that's like, oh my gosh, you know? So I love it. I just love a couple of other books more. The other book I want to talk about is The Last Housewife that I actually read for the Thrill Till Halloween readathon, but I forgot who it's by. It is basically about this woman who finds out that another one of her college housemates killed herself, and she's like, okay, one of them killed themselves back in the day, another one killed themselves. This is very suspicious. So she's trying to figure out what exactly happened, if it's actually a murder that was, you know, like disguised as a suicide. And then it opens up like this big old can of worms that I had no clue. I had no idea going in that this was what this book was about, and I was very surprised. But then again, I did not read much about like people's reviews about this book, so maybe if you have, you already know what it's about, but it's very cultish, so know that going in. I really liked it. It's just very hard to like, it's very hard to process and to swallow sometimes, but it really deals with real life situations. That one I enjoyed as well. So the next one is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This one, when I was reading it like maybe halfway or even 3/4 through, I was like not too sure about this book. I almost DNF'd it. I thought I was like, you know, kind of bored, but in the end I loved it. Like once you get started, it just goes really, really quickly, and in the end it wrapped up so nicely. It's basically about these two best friends, and they'll do anything for each other, but it's really tested in there because one of them is possessed by a devil. So it is crazy. I can't wait until I can make some time to watch the movie because I'm so excited for that. I actually started one at one point, but it got too scary and my kids were there, so I was like, all right, let's turn it off. Next one is Kingdom of the Feared. It's so crazy because this is the wrap up to the trilogy of Kingdom of the Wicked, and when I say it's so crazy, it's because I honestly cannot tell you what exactly happened in this book because I forgot already. I just remember that when I read it, it made me feel all the feels. It was really awesome, very romantic, and a little bit steamy too. But I did read my notes, and basically it's about it's about them trying to figure out Raph's curse and also figure out like how to lift this magic lock on the main character. Yes, so I liked it. I thought it was a good wrap up to the whole series, but I definitely need to do a reread like all the way through because I forgot a lot of details. Next one is The Prison Healer. I love this one so much. In the end, there's like a couple of twists that made me like, that blew my mind. I literally jumped out of my seat and I was like, what is this? And then next thing you know, another twist happens. That is so crazy. Basically, it's like typical YA, you know, a lot of trials and stuff like that. But you have this prison healer. She got sent to this prison with her father a long time ago because they were thought to be like consorting with the rebels and stuff like that. Not really though. But anyways, so yeah, so she's there. She got put in the role of being the prison healer because of the stuff that she learned from her father a long time ago. So she heals everyone who gets hurt in there. She's always holding out hopes to get rescued by her family and escape, but you know, she's waiting for years and years now. And then another time, another prisoner came in. It's like this old, frail looking lady. She's like on her deathbed. But the prison people, they're like, you got to keep her alive because important people, we put them through these 4 ordeals or these 4 trials. And if they complete those trials, then they get sent free. But if they don't, then they die. And so this old lady who comes in, she's like really important. She is apparently like the rebel queen, and so she has to be put through those ordeals, but it looks like she's about to die, so they tell the prison healers to keep her alive, and so she's doing that. She also gets a letter that says what does it say? It says, don't let her die, we are coming, we are coming, we are coming, we are coming. So she's like, all right, well, my family wants me to keep her alive too, they're coming to save me. So she has to do that. Honestly, like, you know from the beginning already, because it's in the synopsis, that the rebel queen, will not be able to make these ordeals. So she's like, I volunteer to take her place. I am going to do the 4 ordeals. So each ordeal or trial has to do with the elements. There's fire, there's water, there's air, and then there's earth, something like that, right? I really liked it. It's like typical YA missions and stuff like that, but in the end, the twists were so amazing. It blew my mind, like I said. The thing is, the ordeals were not anything crazy in my head. You'll see if you read it. I don't want to give away what it is, but in my head, I was like, these are the ordeals. Like, yeah, I get it. It's very, you won't be able to do it if you're just like a regular person, but it was kind of lame. The ordeals. But anyways, I really liked it. I can't wait to get into the 2nd and the 3rd books. Second on this list is The Kiss Curse. So I love this book so much. It's magical romance, fantasy, whatever, right? It's very witchy. It's very like Halloween-y. You have this woman, her name is Guinevere, and then you have Llewellyn. She goes by Gwen and he goes by Wells, but they're so cute together. This is one of the books where like after reading it, I get into a big book hangover because I keep thinking about the book, the characters, what I loved about it, and I can't get into another book right away, but I love this so much. I might link my review down below so you can hear more about it, but yes, this is number 2. And then we get into number 1, Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. So this is number 1 in the Sansi trilogy. It's no secret that I love this. I mean, if you're new here, welcome, and I love this book. Basically, this is a retelling of the 1001 Nights story. I didn't know that going in. I just knew it was kind of like a hodgepodge group of people trying to go on a mission together, right? You have a midnight merchant who collects and sells magical relics as a living. You have her bodyguard Jin, you have a prince, and then you have like one of the 40 thieves coming together to go on this mission and find a relic together. So it's about that. It's a retelling. It's great. It is the best. It's phenomenal. It's like found families, very magical. You have like a smidge of romance in there. If you look very carefully, you can find out the romance. But I'm so excited for number 2, which is called The Ashfire King, and that comes out next year, the end of next year. So yes, I hope you liked my October wrap up. It was a lot of books. It was more books that I usually read in a month, and so I was really excited. October was like the best reading month for me. But yes, lots and lots of books. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me again. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.